Okay, so my name is Chris Hellawell, as you can see. I represent the Edinburgh Tool Library, and I'm going to tell you all about what we do, how we set up, and really the kind of crux of what I'm talking about tonight is, to us, how the actual organisation of the tool library is more important than the tools themselves. It's kind of slightly counterintuitive in terms of the title of the project and the title of the organisation, but actually tools are the sort of gateway drug into something much bigger, better, and I think more important. So some of you may be wondering, what is a tool library? It works exactly like a regular library, which hopefully everybody here is aware of. Instead of books, we have tools. In exactly the same way you sign up, you borrow tools, you take them home, you use them, and you bring them back, hopefully. And if you don't bring them back, you get a fine. And you also get a library card. It all comes from my time visiting Toronto. I went to see the Toronto Tool Library. I kind of got the aspect of, well, sharing is good for the environment. It reduces your carbon footprint, and it also saves you a lot of money. This is actually Toronto on Midsummer's Day. I spent the day hanging out with this guy, Ryan, who runs the Toronto Tool Library. But what was really important in terms of my development and the tool library development was meeting a young guy who was experiencing homelessness, came into the shop looking for some tools to help him start a job, and they gave him it no problem, and that basically got this guy welling up. And it helped him because he could get out of the hole that he was in with his own dignity intact. So I thought, I'll go and join my local tool library in Edinburgh, no problem, that sounds fantastic. Got home and there's none in the UK. So I decided to set one up. We started working out of a police box and storing all the tools in our spare bedroom. We now have a tool depot where we store all our tools, and we have, since January, we've moved into a fully equipped woodwork shop, which I kind of like to think of as the real sort of beating heart of the Edinburgh Tool Library, where all the exciting things happen. This is just to show that I'm down with the kids. Much like Great British Bake Off is not really about cakes, we are not really about tools. We're actually about the people and the stories and the friendships and the sort of journey that people go on from start to finish. So I think that's what's really important with us. Speaking of stories, this is Abdul Wahid. I know lots of things about Abdul Wahid, despite the fact he doesn't speak English and I don't speak Arabic. I know he has a very small wife. I know she's a very good chef. I know his son's into martial arts and owns 4 pairs of nunchucks, which are still in Syria. He's a welder, and most importantly, he gives out awesome hugs all the time. The reason I know that is because Abdul Wahid and I have made things alongside each other, and I came up with a little scientific formula for this. So time making plus gestures plus Google Translate equals friends. And also nunchucks is the same in any sign language. This is Joel and Ben. They're one of, our official name is the Tools for Life Intergenerational Employment Program. What that actually means is a guy with Parkinson's works with a young man who is low in confidence to put doors onto a non-profit knicker factory. They also make some really cool things for the community. That's a book box, a sort of public book box in a public space. They're making accessibility ramps, amongst a million other projects that they do to promote throughout Edinburgh, to promote Edinburgh and also bring in some money for the tool library. We've just started teaching classes, and this is our first little group of guinea pigs, who are proudly showing off these completely new to woodwork. After 3 lessons, that's them coming up with their own very fancy mortise and tenon joints. And next we have, we run a program called the Volunteer Assembly, which is local charities and groups pitching to our volunteers to engage with their project. This is the first one we did, where a local charity that supports young people who are at risk of homelessness, we built a sort of community garden for their front garden. We've also worked with another group called Dads Rock, who are all about basically getting dads to spend more time with their kids. These are young dads, young fathers, not the band. They essentially were parents of age 14, 15, and they made bikes for their kids for Christmas. We're also building a giant musical instrument with them. We're not just about sharing cultures, we're actually about building a culture of sharing. And what we've discovered with the tool library is that actually people want to share things, it's just about finding an avenue for them. We've actually got 4,000 tools, and I think we've bought 20 of them, which I think is pretty good going. So I read a quote the other day, so sharing is a political act, it's anti-capitalist, it's anti-consumerist, and anyone who believes in infinite growth on a finite planet is either a madman or an economist. So the global sharing economy, everybody thinks of Airbnb or perhaps Uber. That's not really what it's all about. There are now actually around 300 sharing libraries across the world. It's a growing community. I went out to Baltimore last year, and I'm going to Toronto in June to meet up with a lot of other people doing the same sorts of things. But we've had visitors from all over the world. That's a little token from Belarus. We've also had somebody from Bochum in Germany, Ljubljana, Brighton, Utrecht, Vancouver, and even from all the way from Stirling as well. Really exotic kind of people coming to see us. What we're really excited about at the moment is that Glasgow is also getting a tool library. Now, you may think that's a picture of Glasgow. It's not, actually. It's to try and make the point that it's all about communicating the message, and our message has gone as far as Fallujah and actually all the way from Dover to the Mongolian border on the back of a Ford Fiesta. So that's a good little marketing ploy if you guys want anything. Resources are going down, so sharing is going to have to be increased. We're all going to have to share more in the future. So let's start doing it now. Let's share knowledge, skills, time, food, and perhaps even tools. But tonight, let's just share a beer and a lovely evening. So I think that's me.